What's going on, guys? Eternal Wind back with another Ghost of Tsushima video, and today on Eternal's Personal Favorites, we are going to cover one of my all-time favorite builds for the Ronin. Now, if you've been watching the channel for a little while, you've probably seen this build or some variation of it on other characters. But this is easily one of my all-time favorite builds for the Ronin. This is the Stone Striker Ronin, or the Heavenly Strike Ronin, however you want to go about it. The reason why I think the Stone Striker excels more on the Ronin than any other class is because of the way his ultimate works as opposed to the other classes. Obviously, any class can utilize it, but I just think that it works best on the Ronin. So, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the gear. So, obviously, I've got the Stone Striker, and we are rocking this with melee damage and staggered damage. The reason why is because I only use the Stone Striker when an enemy is staggered. Therefore, stack as much melee and staggered damage as you can, right? Because what the Heavenly Strike does on the Stone Striker that's different than the one from the Heavenly Rebuke and even the technique for the Samurai is that whenever you use it against a staggered enemy, it does a shitload of extra damage, and it's going to repel all nearby enemies. You'll also get that really dope-ass animation to where you end up cutting their arm off. That a lot of people ask, like, "Hey, you know, my Heavenly Strike isn't doing what yours is doing. Like, what's going on?" That's why. It's the Stone Striker's Heavenly Strike that does that. But we are using melee and stagger damage, and then we're rocking Poison Blade and Wind Stance. To be honest with you, I don't really ever use the Stone Stance on the Stone Striker, because what I do is I run around and Typhoon kick the shit out of everything, because with this build you're going to be able to one kick stagger Tengus, one kick stagger Oni Archers, two kick stagger Brutes. You have so much melee stagger damage on this character that the wind kick is just going to eat stagger gauges. Kind of like against EO in Chapter 3, right? Where you just run up and 3-kick her. You're going to be able to 3-kick Elder Oni Lords as well. So it's really, really nice to utilize that wind stance. And then Poison Blade is just there for instances where maybe their stagger gauge has dropped a little bit from, you know, whatever type of damage they've taken. And then you wind kick them, but it doesn't quite drain all their stamina. But then, you know, your wind kick can actually proc Poison Blade, which will then strip the last remaining chunk that they have rather quickly. So that's why I rock Poison Blade on the Stone Striker. Something else to note, staggered damage is going to be all damage against a staggered enemy. It's not just one type of damage, so it's going to be melee damage, range damage, and for the Ronin, ghost weapon damage. Because when you use your ghost weapons with this build against a staggered enemy, they're going to take 130% more damage from ghost weapons. So keep that in mind. And then for the bomb pack, we've got melee stagger damage and blast radius, because we're not actually using any kind of status effect damage or duration for this particular build. So we're putting melee stagger damage on here to help with those wind kicks. And then obviously your flash and black powder bombs. Now, this is where I feel like this build really shines in terms of through my creation. Because if you guys have watched the channel at all, you'll know that I love the Spirit Bear. I cannot tell you how many times I have had my healing Spirit Bear pounce on a full life Elder Oni and chunk that shit off a cliff to its death, or straight up drown it in the shores of vengeance. It's extremely funny and very satisfying. It's just badass. I like it more than the dog. You could run the dog if you wanted to. Also, keep in mind, if you are running the bear, if anybody is trying to Moonmaster cancel the enemies that the bear pounces on, it's gonna whiff. So keep that in mind. The dog will not do that, so if you want to run the dog just to make sure that your teammates can Moonmaster cancel, then great. There's nothing wrong with that. You could replace the Spirit Bear with maybe Firemaster, and then if you wanted to, you could alter the Bomb Pack and the Caltrops for some kind of status effect damage duration. But this is how I like to go about building this particular build. But for the Ronin Charm sucks. It's easily the worst class-specific charm because it's a defense charm, so you don't have a lot of damage types on there. But what you do have is staggered damage. So this is going to be our second stack of staggered damage for a total of 40% when something is staggered. And then we're running Healing Spirit Radius with Healing Spirit and Spirit Bear because I absolutely love the Healing Spirit Bear. Also, keep in mind that whenever you're healing pet, dog or bear, the duration is much longer than the healing incense. Plus, it's mobile, so you have an AOE heal for you and your team that follows you wherever you go. It's not just stationary, so that's another reason why I like the Healing Spirit. But we are rocking again Healing Spirit Radius, Healing Spirit, and Spirit Bear for this particular build, and then with the Spirit Kunai. Now, generally, I like to run cooldown on kill because it coincides with what the Spirit Kunai does naturally. But because this is both a melee and a ghost weapon damage type of build, I want to get the most I can out of both. If you time your kunai right, you can still easily get 2 to 3 plus kills every time you throw it. Which cooldown and kill, you won't really see it there. You'll really notice it if you only get 2 or less, because then a couple seconds and you'll get your kunai back. But if you use it strategically, you won't have to worry about anything. You can always change out either melee or ghost weapon damage for cooldown on kill. You could drop melee damage if you wanted to for that. But then obviously we're rocking Supermassive and Hidden Blades because that's what you run on the Spirit Kunai. And then for Caltrops, again, no status effect type no status effect damage or duration on the build, so we're getting a second stack of melee stagger damage to further increase our stagger damage against enemies with the Typhoon Kick from the Wind Stance. And then we're getting another stack of ghost weapon damage here with munitions and deep bags. So munitions is obviously just going to help us get any type of our bombs back to help with the building of resolve so that we can unleash as many heavenly strikes as we can, but only to staggered targets. I absolutely love this build, and for a multitude of reasons. It's super fun and super powerful. It's a very, very good build. Now, for the techniques, obviously we are running Spirit Animal here, again, Spirit Bear for me. We're running Enhanced Ghost Weapons for a total of 90% against non-staggered enemies, and then 130% against staggered enemies. What you can do is you can run into a group of enemies and throw caltrops, and then once they walk through a few of those caltrops, they're more than likely going to be staggered by the caltrops, in which case you can throw your kunai out, get a bunch of kills, and reset all your cooldowns. The other thing to note about the Spirit Animal is you can have up to 3 out at a time. The great thing about this is whenever you summon the pet, its duration or cooldown rather is going to start immediately, not once it disappears. So as you summon it and then the cooldown period starts. Why that's so important is because if you time your Spirit Kunai right, you can get more than one Spirit Bear out at one time. So you can end up with the 3 total, but a lot of times you will have more than one out, so 2 plus, which is phenomenal for not only healing, but another reason why I love the Spirit Animal so much is because they like to, as you see here in the demonstration, they like to pounce on enemies. Why that's so good is because you end up with a lot of Oni archers that love to teleport, even the Elder Oni Lords, which is annoying as shit. They're going to be able to run up and pounce on them, hold them in place for you to run up and wind kick, and then Heavenly Strike. Works extremely well. It's very helpful, and I love the synergy because once again, that's what I try to do with my builds: is synergize the entire build. We're going to further increase that synergy through staggering in position. Now, again, if you followed the channel at all, you'll know that I love Cure All. I think it's a really awesome perk, especially for this build. But you want as much melee stagger as you can get, which is why we are going for staggering in position. Now, do note that they're not terribly clear with their explanations here. So it says increase stagger damage, but it doesn't say staggered, and that's because it's not. What this actually is melee stagger damage. So by getting this, you'll have 3 stacks, one from your bomb pack, the other from your caltrops, and your third one here from staggering in position, which again is just going to help you stagger the shit out of enemies with your wind kick. And then I don't really recommend using the triangle heavy attacks with the wind stance. They're really slow and cumbersome. But that's when I would recommend using stone stance because it's really fast. The stone stance's heavy attack combo. It's really, really fast and it actually does really good damage. So if you're not a huge fan of the wind stance or the wind kick, you can most definitely get some use out of this build, even with just running stone stance. And then to finalize the build, we're getting legendary here because we have to take legendary somewhere here. And because we're using Stone Striker, we don't care about the other ultimates that are offered here. But alright guys, that's going to be an explanation of what this build can do. Now, let me show you.
I'll share any story with you. A harrowing
Good old
tale.
Aoi Village.
The defense of Aoi Village.
So as per usual, going in hot for the Tengu. Because fuck that bird bitch. Now, boom.
Ghosts aim closet.
Well, holy shit! I didn't even see that guy coming in hot there. Did you? Did you see that? I damn sure didn't see that.
Ghosts
Nah, man.
defeated an Oni.
Yeah, have fun with that. Come over here. Almost. Now again, I don't like using this against non-staggered targets. However, the other thing that's nice is when you... Hold on, I'll show you what I mean here in just a second. I gotta get these guys off my ass. Alright, so Healing Spirit Bear. He's gonna run around and do some shit. Fuck this guy. Now he actually went after the wrong... Okay. Let me see if I can show you. Alright, so that guy's down. You're gonna have so much stagger damage from that those attacks are actually gonna be quite nice. Alright, so he's going for my bear. A nice distraction. Boom! Boom!
Breathed its
And that's what we like to see, guys. That's what we like to see. Alright, I already know Tengu's fucking ready for something. Yeah, look at him. He's coming in hot. God damn. Get off my dick. Where you going, buddy? You want to die in the house? Fine, die in the house. Ah! Ah! Alright. Healing Spirit Bear. Ooh. That guy's down. Get a couple kills there. Boom. Boom. Look at that. Look at that stagger. Also, we can do this. And that. Gut shots are so beautiful. So beautiful with the Spirit Kunai. Oh my goodness. Alright, we're gonna drop this down. Well, that'll work.
no match for the ghost.
I can't help it. I gotta go in between each one of those Heavenly Strike attacks, man. They're just too fucking good. Oh my god, I love this build so much, dude. It's so fun. How about we do this? Summon our dog. Dog will summon our bear. How dare I? Alright, there's a barrel right there, so that should help out quite a bit. Gotta love the damn... Alright, calm the fuck down. Jesus, look at that. I don't want him. I want this guy. Where you at? Alright, I don't know if you saw that, but I staggered him with the Spirit Kunai. That was pretty sick. Alright. Enough playing around here. Oh, we got another one? You bitch! They always like to fly up here. Can I hit him dead on? That shit went right through him! Alright, bitch. Oh! Nah, bitch!
Defeated.
You didn't realize I could do that, did you? Try not to get hit by that. Well, I was going in for a heavenly strike there, actually. But it didn't work out too well, did it? Hey, come over here. Have fun with those. Let him run through that shit. Come on, buddy. Alright, that's good enough. Alright, now even though he came back from his staggered stage, he's still able to drop because we've got a nice amount of melee damage, so that if that ever happens, it won't be completely wasted. Your heavenly strike, that is. But yeah, guys, that's going to be an example of the build. Hopefully I showed you guys just how badass this thing can be. Easily, like I said, one of my all-time favorite builds for the Ronin, man. It's just so damn good on him, and so damn fun. Things to note, again, stagger damage is going to increase your ghost weapon damage, so if you need to drop caltrops before you use your Spirit Kunai to try to get your bear back faster, definitely consider doing that, or just wind kicking an enemy before throwing your kunai. Will give it a boost of damage if you don't think you're going to be able to one-shot them, depending on how much health they have. But yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say about this build with that demonstration. This is going to be for those of you who voted on my community poll, so I want to go ahead and give a shout out to all of those. To all of you who voted in the community poll for the Ronin to be featured on the next episode of Eternal's Personal Favorites. So if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to stay up to date on all of my content. I appreciate you coming out, and I'll catch you on the next one. Deuces!